Okay, this is, well, I'll let you look at the board first. This is an adjective in its full declension, singular, plural, feminine, masculine, neuter, feminine, masculine, neuter. I don't know why, but I learned in my own head I always would go ladies first, and primarily because there was so many similarities between the masculine and the neuter. So this is just an adjective. It's on page 56 of your Hersey Davis grammar. So if you've been working on that and working on your noun, your declensions, your different cases, this really won't be a lot to show you, but I just use these colors to show you that these two are the same, the genitive and ablative or ablative, and then locative, instrumental, dative are the same. So it's seldom differentiated. So few people emphasize that. Why, I don't know, but anyway, it's another story. But you can notice the endings of the feminine agathe, agathes, agathes repeats here. Agathe, this is a Yoda subscript. The little I there is below Ada. So agathe, agathe, agathe. But now you'll notice that Yoda is a key for these because it's subscripted here in the singular and then it's included in the words here. So agathis, 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 and then masculine plurals, agathois, agathois, agathois. And then of course you can see it's the same in the neuter, agathois, agathois, agathois. So that's good news when you see how many of these are the same. Like all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, all these in both here, these are all the same here. So only the feminine is distinguished in the singular from the masculine and the neuter, and then they're exactly the same. So if you'll use colors, format it, the charts are well arranged in the book, and that way it won't throw you. You can then see, as I can't help it, but when I see patterns, they help. They're always helpful. They're not a source of discouragement. And then when you sit down and write all this out, even today, like I never used a dry erase board when I was first in school. I don't even know, I'd never heard of them. So that is, I never used them. I'm sure they were out there somewhere, but they weren't as common as they are today because I would have really wore it out. And I think later in school, I built one in my office so I could go over it and over it and over it. And uh, but the colors are real good to help set that apart, show you that. And when you see it, so you learn this one, accusative, agathane. You notice it has the knee on the end there, agathane, agathon, agathon, agathos, agathus, agatha. You just become familiar with it. This, the nominative is the same as the accusative here. You have masculine, oi, plural, but you recognize that from when you worked on your nouns. So those of you that studied this before at Landmark, this is a refresher, but the main thing was to show you how to set it up and then to be able to notice the patterns. You can use colored markers, colored pencils, whatever you want to do. But that's really all that can be said as you read through that. But I always started with ladies first. I guess it's our the Southern gentleman in me, and then masculine, and then the neuter. But you can see the pattern falls into place. And when you're familiar with that adjective good, agathos, you can really break this down. But iterative practice, deliberative practice, deliberately sit down, go through it and go through it. And when you reach boredom, you're just beginning to realize the investment and the process. Because if it's only something you study when you're fascinated, I really don't know how you can be captivated by this. So that's why often we were given exams to help incentivize us and to compel us when we otherwise would have become indifferent. So unless you have a compelling reason, a superordinate purpose for studying, I would recommend you look for patterns, colors, the way to format it, and give yourself some type of interest in backing away. So write it all out, the micro view, and then back away with the macro view. And that will be helpful. It gives it a little more interest as I'm about to prepare a chart for another subject, but it's certainly helpful. But this is it. It's full declension, page 56. For those of you that are working on that, you have so many online resources now that it's really amazing how much a person, if you want to learn today, you can learn anything now because the computer open courseware through MIT, other open courseware programs, online Greek New Testament, blueletterbible.org, all of these things at no expense whatsoever. Okay, that was it. It's a brief lesson, but the pattern is the big deal here is the pattern. So